So welcome to the Shredder Show, and today we're going to be taking you through how to increase your testosterone levels naturally. Now, why is this important? Well, testosterone is the main sex hormone within men and is also a vital hormone within women. And this is really something that's very important because it's vital to thousands of metabolic processes within the body, not just in terms of performance, how we look and how we actually look like composition-wise and how we perform in the gym, but also actually how we think and how we feel. So we're going to go through in this podcast episode some things you can do to naturally increase your testosterone levels, and also some things which can be myth-busting, which you think are important for increasing testosterone, which maybe after reading some studies and stuff like that, they aren't actually as important as you may well think. So firstly, we're going to come up and go into the old adage of compound exercises. So one of the bro science things out there a lot of people talk about is how compound exercises like squats, deadlifts, and other heavy compound exercises boost testosterone levels. Now, like a lot of research has proven this is completely false. It doesn't actually make any difference compared to the improvement in testosterone levels when using machines or using slightly lighter weights. So the whole bro thing of using super heavy weights isn't necessarily true. And it isn't necessarily true that you have to do super heavy compound load movements like deadlifts and squats. And I remember when I was younger, reading things like Flex magazine and Muscle and Fitness and all that sort of stuff, where they'd be like, studies have shown that squats increase your natural testosterone production by 15%. It's like, but actually, when you think about that, it will increase your testosterone production, but also so will doing dumbbell walking lunges, so will leg extensions, so will a leg press. Like any form of resistance training performed correctly when you're completely untrained will improve your testosterone levels. So the takeaway myth busted at the beginning of this is that compound lifts aren't the key for you actually in terms of getting results with increasing your testosterone levels. It's actually doing some form of resistance training that's really, really important. So this is very, 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 very vital. One of the other things that's also a recent study that I was looking into, so just checking it out here, is from the Western colleagues from McMaster University in the United States, talking about the post-exercise increase in testosterone hormones and how they cannot be used as a marker for increasing hypertrophy in skeletal muscle. So basically saying that within natural individuals, so your testosterone has increased naturally and you're within natural parameters, so you're not using super physiological doses, aka enhanced, then your ability to you won't actually have more muscle mass because of that. Now, we're not saying that because of this that having optimized testosterone is not important. Having optimized testosterone is still very, very important and will increase your length of life, increase your longevity, and also increase, obviously, in terms of bone density and loads of things like that will help you later in life, and also will help in terms of mental health and cognitive function, because it's a very big relation between depression in men. So suicide, anyone who commits suicide will pretty much always be men. You never really hear of women committing suicide, and that is a very strong link between low testosterone levels and depression. So that's something else that we'll be interested to see if there was a lot more studies on that and the correlation between low testosterone in men and also suicide. Also, there could be an interesting link, just thinking off the top of my head, in terms of how men age, testosterone levels decreasing and depression rates increasing from there onwards. Could be an interesting thing if there was more data on that, which there isn't currently at the moment. So that would be one myth busted, is in terms of testosterone, as you actually increase it naturally, is going to add more muscle mass to your frame. Now, what I would say into that as a caveat is that having a optimized testosterone level will improve body composition, but we'll come on to that shortly. Now, next up, in terms of ways you could be fucking yourself over and compromising your testosterone levels, one of the big ones is overtraining. So one of the big things I see a lot of people do is they want to train 6-7 days a week. They want to go in there, train constantly, want to be lifting weights every day. This is probably the worst thing you could ever do for your testosterone levels. Now, case in point, first time I competed when maybe 2016, I trained for 3 weeks solid, 21 days weight training, and I felt like a bag of shit, to be honest with you. And that's probably because my testosterone levels went through the floor. Now, your body needs to rest and recover. And this is very, very, very important when it comes to optimizing testosterone levels. You can't redline a car constantly without expecting it to overheat or the engine to break. So that's something you really need to think about. And overtraining has a big influence in terms of long term, as it compounds and accrues over a period of time. And also by overtraining, I don't just mean training maybe every day, but I mean doing too much volume within training sessions. So you could be doing things like, if you're doing 30, 40, 50 sets in a workout, that's a lot of volume for your body to be doing. You don't need to be doing that many sets. Like, you can go into a gym, do 10 sets of exercises of weight training phenomenally well, push yourself to complete failure, walk out and like do that 3 times a week for like 3 hours a week, and you get phenomenal results. The problem is most people don't know how to set up their training program correctly to do this. They don't know how to push themselves correctly, and they don't know how to exercise correctly. And these are 3 big things we teach clients in terms of how to actually optimize their training to get the most results in terms of bang for the buck of their time in the gym, which is what we want to be doing. So we want to be time efficient, we want to be effective, and we want to have that slight edge with everything we do. Now, there's also multiple studies that I've read in terms of showing that when you put loads and loads of increases in terms of in terms of training sessions, it actually reduces testosterone levels as well. And this is specifically when you combine this with weight training and endurance training. So there's a very strong link between doing a lot of weight training and then also a lot of cardio, how that has a negative impact on your testosterone levels. So one thing we want to be very wary of, and this is one of the things we would start with clients, is they like, I don't understand it. So when you're on a fat loss journey, you want to lose body fat, you want to get shredded, you want to build muscle, you want to look awesome, you want to do everything at once. You want to like throw the kitchen sink at it. I want to do 2 hours of cardio a day. I want to do weights every day. I want to live that Spartan life, and that's awesome. And I have huge respect for that. However, we have to add a big caveat to this. That is probably the worst thing you can do at the start of a fitness and fat loss journey, because what's going to happen is you're going to burn yourself out after a week or two. And also when your progress slows down in 3-4 weeks time, you then also got nowhere you can go because you've got nothing else you can add actually into the program in terms of, you can't, if you're doing an hour's cardio a day, you can't do 2 hours cardio a day. It's just not practical. And this is one of the big signs when people try and like trash the testosterone levels, is when they try and do too much too quickly. You have to like slowly ramp things up, progressively increase your volume with your cardiovascular work and also your weight training, rather than ramping up too much in one go. So this is something that's very, very important to be aware of. And if you are going to be doing cardiovascular work, what I would suggest you want to be doing, which is important, you should be doing it, is lower intensity cardiovascular work that's going to have less of an effect on your nervous system. So a lot of you guys who follow me know I'm a big advocate of HIIT, and I do that on my days where I'm not weight training, but that's like 2 times a week, 3 times a week max maybe. What I wouldn't do is do HIIT training every single day and then also do weight training every day, because your body will be absolutely annihilated, and that is not going to help you in any means at all get progress. So there we go. Next one. So next point we're going to cover is soy really bad for testosterone levels? So soy is an interesting one, and a saying I love with a lot of things in life is the devil's in the dose. Now, when we think about it, like soy foods in itself don't actually like alter bioavailable testosterone within men. But one thing we have to look at, so a study here from examine.com states that 1 to 2 servings of soy food daily and then less than 25 grams of soy protein from non-concentrate sources doesn't impact testosterone, and only seems to adversely affect testosterone when superloaded and soy protein concentrate is also taken. So essentially, again, the devil is in the dose. So yes, soy obviously has some interaction with male testosterone levels. So if you have a small amount of soy milk with your Americano or your iced latte, whatever you want for coffee, that's not going to crush your testosterone levels too much. But if you were to hammer tons of soy products every day, is that going to have an effect? Yes, because the devil's in the dose, and that's something we have to be very, very aware of. And when it comes to like testosterone and our body, and when it comes to what we're actually putting into it, the main dietary factors driving changes in testosterone in our body are our actual body composition and our calorie intake, so the amount of food we're eating and how much body fat we hold. So in terms of where we really want to be sitting for men, so for men we really want to be sitting between 10 to 15% body fat will be the healthiest spot to optimize your testosterone levels for most people. And the macronutrient like profile that tends to lead the most favor for a optimized testosterone diet is a slightly higher fat diet, so which is why the whole thing about red meats increasing testosterone does have some merit, because they're going to be higher in fats obviously. In terms of the fats I would recommend you look for would be something like a super high quality omega-3 fish oils. So I personally use the Nordic oil brand. I use 10 grams in the AM, 10 grams in the PM. Things like eggs, avocados, healthy wild salmon, like any fatty fish. Those are great sources of healthy fats which will increase testosterone levels. So that's something we really want to be aware of. Now, when it comes to other vitamins and minerals we can look at in terms of optimizing our health, nutrition, and also our testosterone levels, which are vital, we've got to look at something that's really, really key, in particular for men who live in Northern Europe or in areas where we have less sunshine. So I'm currently getting a bit of the SAD at the moment, which is the seasonal anxiety disorder, or I don't know, whatever it is. Basically, where I'm in the UK and it's grey and it's not as exciting as Dubai, and I'm getting a bit depressed because I'm not actually depressed, but I'm getting a bit down because there's not so much sunlight. Now, this is because you're not getting as much vitamin D exposure. Now, vitamin D is vital for testosterone production, so this is something that can be very helpful to aid into your health supplement protocol and into your nutrition to aid with naturally increasing your levels of testosterone. So what you want to be doing, and studies indicate, is that taking up to 3,000 IUs per day can increase your testosterone levels. So you can take that in different forms of, you can get vitamin D sprays or the tablets. Both work really, really well. So that is something that would make a big difference. And the other thing I would say in terms of supplementation is there is a lot of BS in terms of testosterone boosters. Realistically, do they work? No. Is it a gimmick? Yes. Don't bother with it, to be honest with you. The other thing I would say that we're coming into is in terms of there's a lot of talk in regards to the correlation of reduced sleep and lower testosterone levels. Now, the actual studies show that like beyond a certain point, like you want to try and get about 7 hours of sleep is probably optimal. The thing that really fucks your sleep up and also your testosterone levels is stress. So one thing we want to try and mitigate is stress. So that's why things like meditation have actually been proven to increase your testosterone levels. Now, I don't practice what I preach in this respect. I do not meditate, and I'm not going to pretend I do. However, this is something that can help if this is something you struggle with in terms of stress and you think you naturally have lower testosterone levels. And also in regards to this, something that has come up, which is very, very interesting, which I didn't realise, to be honest with you, is the importance of sexual activity in your own natural testosterone levels. So the amount of studies that have come out showing that after sexual intercourse, male testosterone levels increase is huge. So guys, get chasing your wives out there. If you're going to do that, comment below if you're watching this on the video, or make sure you drop a subscribe and say that you've mandated your wife for this and Charlie put you up to it. But yeah, this is one of the things that's actually best for you in terms of health function, is actually sexual intercourse increases your testosterone levels naturally. So this is something that has a huge amount of impetus that we should be doing as frequently as we can, or as frequently as we can. Now, the last thing I want to leave in terms of something that has probably the biggest negative impact on testosterone levels is actually alcohol consumption. Now, like I was talking about in terms of soy, the devil is in the dose in terms of how much alcohol you're having. So we really want to be wary in terms of having excess amounts of alcohol, because that's going to crush your testosterone levels. And obviously it has huge amounts of negative impacts. There's 7 calories per gram of alcohol, which is going to have a negative impact in terms of your body composition. So we really want to try and steer away from that. Am I going to say if you have one glass of red wine at the weekend, your testosterone levels are going to be that of a 10-year-old girl? No, but it's something to be aware of. So these are some of the key things we really focus on with our clients here in terms of CJ coaching to help optimize men's testosterone, help them think better, feel better, and become the ultimate versions of themselves. I hope these tips are hugely helpful and influential. If you want more help with this, make sure that you drop a comment below the video on YouTube if you're watching that. Make sure you subscribe and share this with a friend. And if you want any help with your own fitness and fat loss journey, drop me a DM on Instagram, LinkedIn, or Facebook with the word change, and I can describe to you how we can help you. We can have a quick chat conversation and maybe book in a free strategy call. So hope you have an absolutely awesome day. Smash the like button on YouTube and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.